about it. When someone maybe that do the wrong thing, like to cheated on you, or even that do some criminal stuff, and she thinks that we have to tell them that it's totally wrong and they have to change it. If they won't change it, so you it's like you cannot forgive them if they won't change or they won't realize that it's a wrong thing. But I think that it's not necessary to think about it like that way. So she want me to ask Achan that if he is wrong or right, if we have to change somebody if they do the wrong thing.
Can anyone do anything just by being told?
No, yes, and I already told her that.
That's why it has to be one's own understanding. If she can help the person to understand little by little, maybe that his life will change little by little too.
Yes, I understand it.
Actually, there's no expectation for what it's going to be at all, even right now. Would it be hearing or thinking or smelling or whatever? Each moment is conditioned, unknown all the time, unexpected as well. So just learn to understand the words of the Buddha, because it's all about the truth of everything at any time, even right now. For your thought about you don't have time enough to listen or have discussion with the others on Dhamma, it depends, because the point of listening is just to understand, and one knows that just understand is very little is not enough. For example, if we say that we are talking about the truth of whatever appears, so that's not enough. One has to know why, what's the use, or is it valuable, benefit to understand whatever appears. See, it depends. Someone might walk across or walk by without interest at all on what is heard, but some might get struck what is there, which is heard, and just want to understand better. For example, we'll talk about whatever appears in order to understand the nature of it as it is. It depends on how much interest and how much you would like to understand better and better. It's just the reality which no one knows before hearing the teachings or the right words of the Buddha. For example, there is seeing now, and we have talked many times about seeing. What about right understanding of seeing? It seems like it's not more than yesterday. Seeing, but after hearing that it's conditioned, just that is not enough. That's why Buddha taught for 45 years in different manners, different details, just to condition right understanding of a reality at a time. Even the word reality, it's real, but it does not appear as it is. For example, seeing what, even this, one knows how much understanding of that which is seen and the seeing as they are as no self. Because that which is seen, we think that we see something, forgetting that it can be only that which can be seen in one's life. So from hearing that visible object is seen, that which is seen impinged on the eye base, and the eye cannot see, and that which impinged on it cannot see, but it conditioned a reality which arises to experience it. See, just this, no matter the eye, the seeing, or the hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, everything in one's life, hidden all the time, because one just pays attention to that which is seen and experienced all the time as something. And that is not right at all, because that is not true. So by learning little by little, but actually no one can do anything, because actually there are no one at all. There are only different realities at different times. Like who knows that they will be hearing such sound? No expectation, but it's there and completely gone. See, everything just arises by conditions and go away immediately. It cannot belong to anyone, because who can stop the arising of hardness? See, when there's no touching, does it arise and fall away? See, this is the point to understand better. When there is touching, hardness is touched. If it does not arise, there is no hardness to be touched. So it has to arise to be hard. No one can make it to arise to be hard at all, but it's there. So if there is no touching, does it arise and falls away? See, this is just understand life or everything. Much more to learn or to think about or to understand, just by little, firmer and more confidence. Actually, there is no one who can do anything. There are only conditioned realities. If nothing arises, there wouldn't be world or anything at all. But whatever appears has arisen by conditions only. Like now, saying it's there already. You know or you don't know, it doesn't matter at all. See, this is to learn little by little. And you cannot force or try very much to understand this, because it's conditioned to understand how much, how little, by conditions. We listen the same word together, but it depends on accumulation of each to understand how much. But consider whether what is heard is true or not, so that we have discussion to be more confident that the truth is the truth. And the truth is better than everything else in the world. Otherwise, one lives without understanding in the magic world. Who's the magician? Chitta and Cetasika.
Thank you, Ajahn.
There must always be the idea of someone or something, no matter there is understanding of realities or not. Even one have experienced the truth of reality arising and falling away, but there must be still the idea or concept of that which is seen or heard. But there is understanding of the truth of it.
So Eleanor, you mentioned just as we were starting that some things were quite confusing because you're not used to thinking in this way about the realities at this moment. Like, for example, if there are family issues, we're used to thinking of steps to be followed or arrangements to be made. But we're talking about the life at this moment and the problems as being in the thinking at this moment. And Chitta itself, you remember that Chitta is each moment of consciousness is Chitta, and Chitta is the conjurer that creates the magic world, because we have an idea of people sitting outside and cameras and microphones and all these things just because of Chitta thinking about these different ideas and these different objects. So this is why Chitta is the creator of this magic world. If there was no Chitta now, if there was no thinking about microphones and cameras, where are they? So actually, life just exists at this moment, just one chitta at a time. If there's no thinking about the family issues or about the work now, where is it? It's just an idea in one's mind for a moment. And this is why chitta is the magician.
And consciousness creates the outside world based on what is being experienced at the present moment, together with memory. And what is being experienced and can be directly understood at the present moment is just seeing and its object, visible object, hearing and sound, and so on, experiencing tactile objects through the body sense, and as I said, thinking about all these things and memory of past experiences. And from that is created the idea of the truck down there and the person walking over there. That's why we say that the outside world, as we understand it, is a conceptualization. And what can be directly experienced and understood is just seeing and visible object and those other things. And that's why we call these things realities, to distinguish them from the idea that is created based on those realities of the outside world. That idea of the truck down the road making the noise and so forth, it is not to say it's wrong, because everyone has the same experience and idea, but it is not directly experienced. The sound is directly experienced, but knowing that it's a truck is thinking and identifying, so the truck is not directly experienced.
Although Chitta and Cetasika, Chitta is the magician, but there wouldn't be this magic without Rupa Nimitta also, isn't it?
But Rupa cannot do anything. It cannot experience.
It is not the magician. The magician is the Chitta. But if there were no Rupa Nimitta, then also Chitta cannot think this way.
Even Chitta itself arising and falling away, unknown. So it's the Nimitta of Chitta, as I. Even no one there at all. This is more subtle, because we think about just Rupa as something, but even Chitta itself as I, see, it's something. So even just one word should be considered more and more, very carefully, for it's, in order to really to begin to letting go the idea of self, which is so very, very strong. For example, what is seen here, what is seen here, what is seen here, what are they? Just that which is seen only. See? From hearing again and again and again and understand better and better, one begins to understand the difference between that which experiences and that which cannot experience. The table cannot classify different colors as different things at all. The table, the hardness, cannot know that, but that which arises, Chitta and Cetasikas. Chitta is that which is the faculty of the chief of experiencing only. So seeing now is the chief of experiencing. What is there? So clear. Even it's in darkness, it knows that how dark it is. It's clear as that. So whatever is seen, Chitta experience correctly, like the fake or the false thing and the real thing, genuine one. Chitta experience that. So memory, which marks the difference, can understand the way it is. So in a moment there are many, many realities arising and falling away, but they are different. For example, in the day, Chitta sees and hears, smells, tastes and touches. This is all which appear in daily life all the time, but no understanding that is a moment conditioned by many conditions to see the reality which experiences visible object now arises. It's now seeing, it sees. No idea at all. When there's no hearing about the truth of the reality, there must be I or something all the time. And not knowing that that which is seen arises too. Otherwise, if it does not impinge on the eye base, no condition for seeing to arise and to see. It's so very miraculous when you think, how can they be seeing right now? Can anyone stop its arising? Never. No one, nobody, because actually there are only conditions for whatever arises. There are conditions for ever arises and appears now. This is a point to understand little by little in order to begin to understand what's meant by no one. There are only different realities. So now, who's this? See, Citta just experienced that Sanya Acetasika marks and remembers the difference between each shape and form, and it has the idea, something there. No I, if Sanya does not arise, no remember, no one, no remembering at all. How can it become this or that when there's no Sanya? But because of Sanya marks whatever arises and falls away, that it cannot be experienced directly, only the shape and form or sign of it, which is still there, is marked by Sanya. And there is the idea of someone, of something all the time.
So after you mentioned about a magician, so we see a little dog puppy this morning, right? So is any